What up, everybody? It's PastorG's.
It's Lady T.
It's Wednesday, and she's running behind schedule. But I'm thankful that we are here. We are definitely here. We're in the house. It is good to be here. It is definitely good to be in the house today on this Wednesday. This is a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you're excited. I hope you are delighted, all of that good stuff, because you should be. I'm telling you, you should be. And if you're not, after Uplift today, I'm telling you, man, we're living in an incredible season. This is an incredible season. I got some great information I believe that the Lord has dropped in my spirit today. I never take these moments for granted. I always believe that when God gives us an opportunity to stand before people, we're people in need, and I always say this: fake people only need a reminder. You only need a reminder. Now, the enemy is attacking. For those that are going through severe attacks right now, let that be your indicator. The enemy is your indicator, and your indicator is there to indicate. If he's attacking, that's because he's indicating to you that you're in the right place, and he want to run you out of that place. He can't wear me out. Amen. His main desire is to wear you out with the attacks, but you got to be steadfast in the season. This is a steadfast season. The rule, here's the rule. There's one rule to really sing the manifestations of God in this season. Let me tell you what the rules are. It says, "Let us not grow weary in well doing." Don't grow weary in your well doing. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. What's up, Kathy Varel? How you doing today? Kathy's in the house.
Hey, Kathy.
Blessings upon you. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. Inconsistency is your greatest enemy. Now, you might think it's a whole lot of other things, and we always do believe that it's something else that is stopping us, but it's only inconsistency. Inconsistency. So many times, God has given us a consistent level, but what we do is we see other people that are falling off. And what we do is we tend to fall off because we're in the flow of traffic. It's so easy to get in the flow of traffic. You get out on the freeway, speed limit is 70, and you're supposed to be going 70 because you don't have the money to pay the ticket. But if enough people pass by you doing 80 or 85, you are automatically in the 80 or 85 mile per hour zone. And it's just because you got into the flow of traffic. Now, if you can process that in your mind, you can get around people that are in church that don't actually believe nothing that they say. And if you're not careful, you'll be amongst the crowd that is saying a lot of things, but not believing a lot of things. You'll be one amongst the crowd that got a whole bag of cliches that we always say, but we never actually believe that God is going to perform. And God is urgently trying to get into your life what he promised you. You just got to get into the place of agreement. This will be a season of inventory, taking inventory. And I always suggest this to everybody. I don't care what level you're on, do inventory. Because if the promises of God, and he says he desires it more, I wish above all things that you have this and is not entering into your space. Perhaps it's not what you think it is that's hindering you. Maybe it's something else that you never thought about before. I love to use a life emphasis or my life experience. This morning, I was looking for something that I needed to do this live with. And, as we travel, I got a bag that I prepare for a certain trip with all the tools I need or all the equipment I need to do a specific job in the area. And that might be even different from over here. And I already got my stuff prepared for over here. And so this morning I got up to get ready to get prepared for this, and I did not find a piece that was valuable for me to do this. And I began to panic because I couldn't find the piece. Hear me. This is going to be very important. This is why I said you're going to have to slow it down and just look for a moment. God will give you those moments where you're going to have to slow down. You're going to have to shut it. You're going to have to stop for 1 minute because there's something he's trying to say, but I can't hear because I got too many things going on at one time. I got too many irons in the fire. Now, I know you're a multitasker like none other, but there are times you get so many irons in your fire that you can actually hear what God is specifically trying to say. And most of the irons that we have in the fire are robust irons. We get into this place that we're like Elijah, and we're hearing the earthquakes, the storm, the winds, the tornadoes, and all that. But we're missing the most significant part of God. That's the still small voice, because the still small voice is from God, because God is already still and he's peaceful and he's not as messed up about things as you are. And so he says, if you want to think like me, you're going to have to come into my peace. If you want to think like me, you need to come into my peace. So he's saying, peace out for a moment so I can speak to you about this next level that I'm trying to get you. I'm not trying to keep it from you. You have delayed this next level because you haven't heard me. You're still robust. You're still doing all these things. He says, you're not going to lose anything. I cannot, listen. You keep basing it off you. God says, I swear by none greater than myself. I didn't swear by you and what you do and what you think. I swear by myself. So in other words, God is trying to tell you that he's pleasuring himself. He's just allowing you to watch. Woo-hoo. He's doing this for himself. He's just allowing you to be a part of the process. So don't ever get to it. So here it is. I'm looking for this piece that I've already purchased. It's already been purchased for me. I know I got it because I stuck it in my bag. I knew I have no doubt that I stuck it in the bag. And so I'm looking for this piece that is valuable for the next phase of my operations. I'm there for the next phase of my operations. I'm looking for this valuable piece. Well, here's what happened. The last time we went out yesterday, I used my other bag. Listen to me. Last night, I used my other bag. That other bag is my bag too. And so since I knew it was in my bag, I went for my bag. Here it is. I went for my bag. I got kind of messed up because when I looked in my bag, the device was not in my bag. Did I leave it? What happened? And finally, after getting frantic, I had to calm myself down and then realize that this is your bag, but it's not the bag that you use for the Dallas. This ain't the Dallas bag. I remember I used it last in Dallas. And so I pieced out. I said, oh, let me get into peace. And once I get into peace, I went in and walked into my bag, and there it was. What are you saying, Pastor? What are you saying? Right now, the enemy has caused you to get so frantic in these moments that you are overlooking something that is evidently already bought for you. It's already purchased. You're going to have to slow down so that God can give you clear definition as to where it is. You are already prepared and equipped. Listen to me. You're already prepared and equipped for the next level. You are. Listen to me. Listen to me. And so, since this is such a strategic time in God, if you have not shared me, please share me now. Please share me. I want to open this up. Then I'm going to let her say something. But I'm going to get this out. Let me get this out. You are prepared for the next level. Or in other words, you have the tools to be in next level. Now God is going to prepare you. You have the tools. God never, this is a rule number one, because we never think that we got enough. God never sends you to the challenge or never sends you to the battlefield without allowing you to already be in possession of everything needed to win. Here it is. God would never send you to a battlefield without having enough to win when you get there. You will not even discover that I have the tools to win until I get there. We think I got to see everything before I get there. God says, no, fate says go there, and I'll show you that you brought here what was needed to win. David is a prime example in the battle of Goliath. Once he got all the information and all the advice from people on how to win, now he discovers that what I need to defeat this giant is already in my bag. Are you listening to me? It is already in my bag. I got it in my bag. I brought it here in my bag. So listen to me. It's already in your bag. Slow down, peace out, so that God can reveal to you the thing that you thought would not work. He says it does work. Please hear me. I want to share something to those of you that are the saviors for the world. I need to share something with you. I want to share. This is a season where you're gonna take some time to do you.
Okay.
It's important. It's important. But I don't want you to get all messed up if you save the whole world. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you save the whole world or try to save, or you got advice for the whole world, people need to hear this right here. God is so defined in this season because he's ready for you to move in. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to move in? I'm talking to today, Lord, I trust you. Are you ready to move in? Are you ready to move in? God is ready for you to move in. Now listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. We can save the whole world. All of us go through these moments where I got advice for everybody. And it works. But when it comes to me, I have none for myself. I need you to hear what I'm about to say because this is going to be very important because you're having too many ups and down days, emotional battles because you are helping people, but you are deficient when it comes to your own health. Now, let me share this. This was downloaded into me when I just came downstairs. He said, I need you to make this clear to people that live. You are here to help everybody else, and you are good at it. You have the answer for everybody. Here's what I want you to know. This is important. Your gift, hear me. Your gift is not for, I was going to say ain't, but I want to be out of order with people. Your gift is not for you. Listen to me. Your gift is not for you. We have helped other people, and then we fell in a place and we tried to help ourselves and it didn't work. And now we condemn ourselves. Why can I help everybody else and I can't help myself? We did not know, and this is what definition is going to be in this next season. Your gift is not for you. You're supposed to be able to help everybody else, but not help yourself. Why is that, Pastor? Listen, that's contrary to what I've always heard. Well, it is. God's defining some things. He's giving us true definition because we've gone off. Your gift is not for you. Your gift is to help everybody else. Why won't God let my gift help me? Because he does not want you to be self-sufficient. He wants you to come to him and say, Lord, if you don't help me, there is no other help I have. He does not want you to think that this next season you are going to be able to figure this thing out. You're going to have somebody else help you. You're going to help everybody else, but when it comes to you, you will seem as though it's helpless. No, you are not helpless. God says, come to the one that can help you. He don't want you to be self-sufficient. He wants us to have a group of people. This is what a body experience is about. This is what Matthew 18 speaks very clearly. Where there's 2 or 3, in this next season, God is going to give you people with like minds. You are not to help yourself. You are not to help yourself. You are to have, listen to me. God does not want you self-sufficient. So many times the enemy will use any tool that he can. He wants you to be self-sufficient. He wants you. I told my church last night, listen to this. Listen to me. Your posture in this next season, because it's so incredible what you're about to embark upon. The door is opening for that thing that you perhaps never thought it was going to happen, even though you done made the declaration, the proclamations, the cliches and all that, and you never thought it was going to happen. You're actually going to have the opportunity to walk in that door. But when you are faced with challenges, this is your posture. Throw your hands up immediately and say, Lord, this one is on you.
Yes, sir.
This one is on you. I'm going to go ahead on and get past the delays, season of delays where I'm going to delay to try to figure out if I'm good enough and if I got enough. I will not in this season. I will not in this season. Are you listening to me? I will not in this season. I will not in this season. Now it says I'm having internet issues. Internet issues. So let's I'm still going. Let's go. Now it's important. I'm not leaving. If the internet shuts down, I am still here. Are y'all listening to me? I'm gonna get this word. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
So yes, all of this thing about trusting God, it is so beyond ourselves. We have to actually trust him even if we don't trace him.
Yes.
Even if we can't say, okay, God, I know that this is of you, this is from you, this is all about you, and I can't say this in my mind, I still have to get it in my heart and get it all down inside of me that I'm going to trust God. Right now, I am in my the final leg of my didactic journey to my PhD. So this is 2 classes that I am in right now. One is they're preparing me for my, this was not my idea to go and just get this PhD. This was your thing. You told me that I needed it so that I might be able to serve you better. And so now I entered it and I began. And some of it at the beginning was a little easy, but as time progressed, it has gotten to be more and more difficult. So now what I'm seeing is, God, I know that I can't do this.
Yes.
I cannot do this without you doing it through me. Yes. Without you doing it for me. Yes. So I gotta trust God. Yes. I gotta lean not to my understanding, because mine is so finite. I got to not lean on what I think I know, what I think that I'm going to be able to do, or that I think that I can do. And I gotta trust God when I don't even understand what words will be next for me to put on the paper. Yes. For when I don't understand what I'm going to need to do, what I'm going to need to say as I am going to be presented with people who are looking for a word from me. Yes. And I'm not talking about at church and prophecy. I'm talking about school. Yes. There is still a people who await. And I just said, okay, God, I know it's going to happen, and I'm trusting you to do it. When I got up this morning, or before I got out of bed even, the Lord just started telling me stuff about paper that I'm writing right now. And I went to the restroom and got all my little stuff done, read the Bible and kind of meditated. And then when I sat down at my computer, it started to come. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I see. Yeah. I trust you, God. Yeah. I trust you. And I'm only going to write what you say. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait right there in trust and in faith, knowing that you're going to give me the right words. You're going to give me everything that I need so that it'll all be correct. God, I just thank him. I thank him and I trust him. I trust him when I can't trace him. I trust him when I can't understand. I trust him. And I know that he has it all worked out because I put it all in his hand. I said that I surrender my thoughts, my will to my God, who is way bigger, way greater than anything else. Not just an entity that I choose to call God, but no, I surrender my thoughts, my processes. I surrender it to God and say, God, have your way, because I trust you like that.
Amen.
So it's just like...
And that's interesting. That is important to understand, that she's going for a higher level of education. God is interested and God purposed in us. This is what we have to understand. I was teaching this past weekend. What God is doing is so incredibly different for some of us. We were church babies. We were birthed in church, and the Lord spoke very clearly to me. He says, just because you were birthed somewhere does not mean that you will live there. You always have relationship. Now, I'm not tearing down the church, the assembly, but there are some of you that are listening to me right now. What you have been anointed to do, it's outside of those walls. I need to say that. I need to say that you were anointed to and for a people that is different than perhaps what you were birthed in and always told. God is so interested in you finishing your course because he want to have dominance in an area. Yeah. He's preparing you to dominate an area. If you're not careful, you're going to fight yourself because it's not what you are accustomed to doing. Your ministry is shifting into places that is different from what the traditional look of someone that calls themselves a minister. You will be ministering in places that other people don't have any idea. And God says he's preparing you to minister there. He's allowing you the opportunity to go back to schools. He's allowing you the opportunity to get in position that perhaps no other is even thinking about. That's why you got to know in this season that you are on and in God's order and God's plan, because you're going to get some doubters that say that's not what God has planned for your life. But you have got to believe. You have got to know. You have got to believe. This is why we are right now heavily suggesting that your prayer life come back up to par. Your prayer life comes back to par, because that is the place that you are going to be able to discern the voice of God when all the voices are telling you which way and how and where you should be going. God is going to definitively speak what he's trying to do in this season, and it is most important that we have that personal relationship again, because this is going to be a trust season. Hear me. This is going to be a trust season. You are not going to get by. You are not going to be successful in this season without the trust of the Lord, or trusting in the Lord with all that you have to trust. There are available doors and opportunities that are opening now. They are incredible doors. They are greater doors than you ever experienced. They are greater doors than your mind could ever fathom that you would be privy to. But God is doing it. God is he's waiting for you to agree with him so he can walk you in this door. They are already prepared for you. They are already prepared for you. When God prepares them and God sets their heart on you, they have something that they're looking for. So now, since God has prepared their heart for you, you go to God and let him prepare you for their heart.
Come on.
You go to God and let him prepare you with the thoughts, the things to say,
yes,
the way to act. You're going to have to conduct yourself properly, and God will train you in how. You thinking that you're going to have to fight and work and do it on your own power and your connections. No, God says, I have already prepared. I've already prepared a people that is ready to hear you once you allow me to speak what I'm trying to say. And it's going to be different than you've ever heard. It's going to be different. Please hear me. This is a different time. This is a different season. You need to hear again. Don't take it for granted that you already know what God is about to say. God is about to shock some people. Hear me. God is about to shock some people. Hear me again. I got to say it again. God is about to shock. This is a season that you are going to have to trust God. You hear me? You're going to have to trust God. A lot of prompts that are going to be given in this season, you are going to have your private debate with God. It's okay. Listen to me. You're going to have a private debate, because what God is about to speak in your ear, it's not anything that you have ever heard. And definitely, you have never heard someone say this about you. But you have been prepared for such a time as this. It's okay that I say, God, are you serious? Go head on and ask the question. Now, your friends might get mad when you ask the difficult questions, but not God. As a matter of fact, God loves it when I ask the difficult question, because now he knows I'm interested. The only persons that get upset when you ask the difficult question are the person that don't have the difficult answer.
Come on.
But God has got your answer, and he is so interested in you going into this season that you are going to have to trust him. I am sorry. It's sad to say that the 9 times out of 10, listen to me, 9 times out of 10, what you have currently experienced in your religious system has probably not prepared you for this next level. This is a whole new season. This is a whole new different application. You are going to have to hear God in this season, and it's going to require that you trust him on a level that you never trusted him before. Please hear me. You're going to have to trust him on a level that you never trusted him before. You're going to have to say, God, when you see it, you're going to say, Lord, I trust you.
Okay.
I trust you. I want to, and what you are trusting is a word that has already been established. God has already established it. You're walking into new territory, but don't you ever believe that you're going somewhere that God has not already been. Don't you ever think that you're going somewhere that God has not already been. The Holy Spirit is going to be your guide in this next season. It's going to be your tour guide in this next season. Now, if something is going to be your tour guide, you never go a place and take the tour and have a tour guide that have not been familiar with the route.
Come on.
This is why you got to know that the Holy Spirit is going to be your guide. People around you might not have been down this trail because you're a trailblazer, but rest assured, the Spirit of God has already been on the tour and is very familiar with it. And it's going to take you to places that you're going to have to trust God for this, because your advice from your good friend have never went down this trail before. You are a trailblazer. You are a trailblazer. This is the season for trailblazers. Get ready. Lord, I trust you. I trust you. It don't look like it. It don't feel like it, but I trust you. Psalms 119. Now, I want to read something here real quick. Psalms 119, verse number 89. It's probably familiar to most. I want to read it to you. Psalms 119:89. It says, forever. This is for those of you that think God don't know. It says, forever. Somebody wrote predestination in there. This means that God has already sanctioned your step. Are you listening to me? God is already there. He's calling you to somewhere that you never gone. He's already there. Don't you think that he's not there. Your friend haven't been there, but God is already at the end telling you, I know how this goes. You're going to have to trust me. I'm going to tell you to make some steps that don't look right to your intellect. But your spirit is going to leap and say, go, go, go. Lord, I trust you. Now listen to this. Psalms 119:89 says, forever, O Lord, thy word is settled in heaven. That's an interesting passage. Forever, O Lord, thy word is established in heaven. In other words, where God sits, it is established, it is finished, it is done. Where you are standing, he says, I want to duplicate where I am in your life. I want to duplicate where I am. In heaven, it is established. Now, I need it to be established in your space. On earth, I need this to be established, and I'm going to use you to establish what I've already established in heaven. That's why Jesus says, this is your prayer. Thou kingdom come, right here on earth. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, because thy word has been established already. I can take confidence that when God drops it in my spirit, it is not a work in progress. It is a work that's done. When God drops it in my spirit, it is not a work in progress. He's not trying to figure out what he's trying to do. It's a finished work. Now I go through the process to complete what God has already completed. And you listen to me. He's pulling you through a process, but don't think that this thing has a progress, because God is, God is not a progressive God. Please hear me. Your God is not a progressive God. You don't want your God to be a progressive God. You want your God to be a God that's finished. He does not. He is not a progressive God. He's already finished everything. He's not putting things together. He's already finished, so he don't have to be progressive. He is finished. He's telling you definitively, you can trust me on this one. It is done. It is done. Lord, I trust you in this next season, because I'm going into areas that my life, my education, my finances do not qualify me for. But if the door is open, I trust you with it. Yeah. If the door comes open, I know I have failed several times. Every time I try something, I always do something to mess it up. But this time, I'm going to trust you. Lord, I trust you. I will not let me sabotage me. I'm gonna tell you something. I cannot let me sabotage me. You are living in a season that you don't know why. Listen to this. This sounds crazy. You won't know why, but you know why. You don't listen. We have these internal fights, right? I don't know why, but I know why. I don't know why, but I know why. I don't know why God would do this, but I know why he done it, because he chose me for it. I don't know why. In other words, it's like I will sense something that don't make sense. That's the battle and the thing that we are going through right now, because my spirit is sensing something that my current situation can't validate. I know that God is pulling me here, and I've got to make a definitive decision that I'm going to trust God. I will trust God. I will trust God. Now, let's look at this, because this is important that you see this. This is important that you see this. This is a season of trust. I need you to see this. I so many times when we get to particular levels and titles, we think that we living in a place or a sphere that God won't give us things that require our faith in him. This is the season, I'm telling you, like no other. If you are planning to go next level and to complete what God has promised you, he's going to put you in a place where you're going to have to trust him all over again. God is pushing some people that are listening to me right now in the most unusual place that you've ever been in, because he says, I'm trying to pull you from out of what you have mastered. I'm trying to pull you from what you mastered.
What you mastered.
Because when you think you master something, you don't have to pray. You don't have to think. But this season, he's pulling you from something that you have mastered. You're going to have to trust the master in this season. This is a brand new season. I'm announcing to some people that have been stagnant in a good place, that God is about to pull you out of your good place and pull you to your wealthy place that he promised you. This is the promised season, so it's going to require that you trust him like you've never trusted him before. God, listen. This is an important season. I've got to get you to see, this is a very important season. This is a very important season. You're going to have to trust God. Now, when I think of the very essence of trust, please hear this. When I think of trust is established when there is, listen to this, when there is no visible evidence. If you're going to talk about trusting God, here's one of the things that you are going to have to wrap your mind around. Trust is most evident when there is no visible evidence. This is why you need trust, because I can't see. So many people are falling out and they say they trust God because they didn't see. Trust is defined when there is no visible evidence. If you say you trust in God and I'm going to believe God, there would be no visible evidence. What are you saying, Pastor? Here's what I'm saying. This next level in God, you won't have no visible evidence. You're going to have to trust him when you cannot trace him. This is what he's telling you. This is what I need. I will not give you any visible evidence that I am moving on your behalf. All I need you to do is hear my word and posture yourself to go. Hear me. Hear my word and posture yourself to go. Listen to me. Hear my word and posture yourself to go. Trust is most defined when there's no visible evidence. You've been sitting back and saying, I don't see no signs. He's sitting back telling you, you are right.
Yeah.
I didn't purpose to give you no sign. Yeah. I wanted you to step out on what I said. I want you to step out on what I said. Thank you, missionary Betty Ann Ortiz. Thank you so much. Listen, I wanted you to step out on what I said. Now, hear this. This is very important. God gives a prompt to Elijah. This is 1 Kings 17. Check this out. 1 Kings 17. I need you to hear this. Because this can be a very confusing season as well. This is a different season. You have operated in what you have mastered and you called it faith, but you were confident because you know how to operate in that level. This next level is a pulling out of something that you have mastered. I don't know why I keep saying that, but this is a pulling out of something you have mastered. He's pulling you to next level. He's pulling you to next level. Please hear me. He's pulling you to next level. So there will be no visible evidence. Please hear me. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Please hear me. Okay. The first interview didn't go like you wanted it to go. No visible evidence. Please hear me. The first interview didn't go the way that you envisioned it going when you left home. It didn't go there. Okay. The first job was a penny-ante job. Ooh, no visible evidence. Please hear me. Please hear me. The first conversation that you had with your child, they curse you out. No visible evidence. Please, are you listening? No visible evidence. I don't see nothing about the scenario look like what God promised me. Trust is most evident and defined when there is no visible evidence. So yes, he says, yeah, it went total opposite of what you thought it was going to go. Will you yet trust me? Will you yet stand on what I said? Will you yet say I'm going after? Will you yet walk into the places that I can't trace God? The only thing I got right now is that he told me that this would be what I'm going to have what he promised me. Listen to me. This is the season. You're walking out. Okay, I went to the doctor and the doctor report was not what I expected. No visible evidence. You're going to have to trust him and you're going to have to say out of your mouth, Lord, this is what you said. I did not say this. This is what you said. Oh, I got to read this. So forever, oh Lord, thy word is established. Meaning it ain't changing. It ain't changing. I don't care what came up against you. I don't care how the interview didn't go. I don't care what your child said. I don't care what the job paid. I don't care what the doctor said. Thy word forever is established. It's already said. This is what God said about me, and nothing can change that. I will confess out of my mouth what God has told me. No visible evidence. That's what he said. That's what I'm standing on. The 90th verse says, Thy faithfulness is unto all generations. Thou faithfulness is to all generation. Thou hast established the earth. Listen, thou hast established the earth, and it abided. In other words, as long as the earth remains, your word is going to remain. Are you listening to me? As long as the earth remains, your word is remain. Oh, well, Matthew 24, Matthew 24, verse 36 says, heaven and earth shall pass away.
Come on.
Heaven and earth shall pass away. But what I said to you is what I said to you. I don't need you having any other conversation. You should be rehearsing into God's ears what God has already told you. Stop talking about what the doctor said. He ain't on God's level. Stop talking about what your child doing. That ain't on God's level. Are y'all listening to me? Today, God is pulling you out of something. You will not another day say anything contrary to what God said. I got to get to something here. I got to get to something. 1 Kings chapter 17. Listen to me. Listen to me. Trust. If you say, Lord, I trust you. Trust is defined. Anytime you say trust, if my wife tells me she trusts me, it ain't evident when I'm sitting next to her. She's saying, I trust you when you leave this house and I can't see you. Trust is only evident when there's no visible evidence. Please hear me. For those of you, I need to redefine what you call trust. Trust is when I can't see nothing, but God said something. Mm-hmm. When I can't see it, I got to trust. So stop falling out because you can't see. He never promised you would see. He said, you trust me when you can't trace me. You say and you rehearse in your ears, God already promised me that this would end in my favor. Period. I don't need no other discussion. I need to go drink me some lemonade. 1 Kings chapter 17. 1 Kings chapter 17. I need to show you this. Trusting when you can't trace. If God said, listen to me, I'm going to open up something here. This is very important. I need you to hear me very clearly. When God has spoken a word, what God speaks, when he drops it in your spirit, it is not a work in progress. It is a work that is finished. It is not a work in progress. It is a work that is finished. Please hear me. It is not a work. You are going through a process. This process that you are going through is the enemy trying to talk you out of what is finished. Mm-hmm. This process that you're going through is the enemy trying to talk you out of what is finished. Do not let him talk you out of what is done. It is already done. Stand on the word of God and do not waver. Do not wait. Okay. First Kings, I need to talk to some people because you're powerful and this is going to be a season of confusion if you're not careful, because he's going to shift you out of something and then he's going to require you to trust him. What is trust? It's defined when there is no visible evidence. Please hear me. It's obedience season. Obedience season. You're going to make a move at the word of God. Here's 1 Kings chapter 17, verse number 2. Here it is. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse number 2. Please hear what I'm about to say to you. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, who did the word of the Lord come to? Elijah. Okay. This is 1 Kings 17. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah. Please hear, come to the prophet saying. The word is about to come to the people that are prophesied. Remember, you prophesied to everybody else. And it seems like my word ain't working on me. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's working on you. Yes, it is. It's working on you. Well, actually, like we said earlier, you're gifted for somebody else. When it comes to you, you're going to have to trust God, because God will not make you self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. He's not going to do it. You all of that. But God says you're going to trust me. Yes, you're going to trust me. You're going to throw your hands up and say, I don't get it. The moment you say I don't get it and trust God, you get it. Check it out. Here it is. And the word of the Lord came unto him saying, check it out what this word said. I need you to get this. I need a couple of people to hear what I'm about to say. Verse 3, it says, get thee hence. In other words, get up and get ready to move. Get thee hence and turn thee eastward. You know how specific God is? Turn eastward. I need you to go east right now. Here's a definitive turn. Get up and get ready to move. Check this out. He's stargazing because he just prophesied that the heavens was shut. And I want to live on that prophecy. And the Lord says, no, it's time for you to move. There's other things that I got to do. Check this out. I'm speaking to somebody. It says, and get thee hence and turn eastward and hide thyself. Listen to me. And hide thyself by the brook Cherith that is before. Oh, Jordan, listen to that. I'm excited because I know what the Lord is saying. Listen. Get somebody in the house because I need to unpack something. Now notice, I'm going to read it once again because this is after verse number 1. He just prophesied that the heavens going to shut up. And it happened. And he want to look there and stargaze like, I did that, didn't I? And then the Spirit of the Lord said, I'm not going to get you and let you live in the place that you think you mastered. I got some other things. I never let you be in a place where you don't have to trust me. I don't care what you've done, you're not going to be able to live in a space that you don't have to trust me. He says, now get thee eastward, which is a direction that you don't want to go in. Get you eastward. Check it out. And hide thyself. Now, you want to take advantage of your last miracle because you got some publicity on the miracle. I know things going to happen for me now because I just showed them. He says, no, go hide yourself. Go get out of the limelight right now. Or I'm going to put you in a place that you're not in the limelight because I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me in this season. Yeah, you good, you bad, you all of that, but I need you to hide yourself because I want you to live off my word and I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. Please hear me. He says, and hence turn thee eastward and hide thyself by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. Listen to that text. That is before Jordan. Listen, that is before Jordan. I got to paint a picture because Jordan is a river that would overflow its banks. Now, he just prophesied a famine. The heaven's going to be shut up. God just sent him in a direction toward Jordan. He said, get thee before Jordan. In other words, I'm not going to let you go to Jordan because if you got to Jordan, you know that there's plenty over there. I'm not going to let you go to the place of plenty because if you're over in the place of plenty, you won't trust what I said. Yes. I want you to stop just short of plenty. I want you to stop just short of plenty. You got a lot of friends over there in the place of plenty. I don't want you over there. I don't need you having a conversation about what you did in the past. Okay. Because I got so much I'm about to introduce in your future. If you can trust me, Lord, I trust you. What is trust? Trust is defined when there is no visible evidence. Jordan has got visible evidence, but that's not where I'm sending you. I'm not sending you to the place where there is visible evidence. Now, you're going to have a good discussion with the Lord, and you're going to tell him, now, Lord, it makes sense if I was over there with the gift I got. If I was over there with the gift I got, now I could do some things. And he says to you, I don't want you over there. I need you where I have planted you. It's going to be a place where you're going to have to trust me. God's truth needs your trust. That's all he needs. God's truth, because his word is established. He's looking for people that can trust him. Listen to me. Here it is. He says, so the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. This is just before the place of plenty. Why God stopped you there? He says, because you're going to trust me. You're going to trust me. Now check it out. The 4th verse. And it shall be. Listen, I love it. And it came to pass. And it shall be's of life. Because there's no visible evidence, but God says, and it came to pass, and it shall be. I'm announcing and prophesying to somebody. You are in a place where there's no visible evidence, and God said, and it came to pass, and it shall be. That's where he wants you to plant your feet on. And it came to pass, and it shall be. You can't see nothing, but only thing you can hear is God saying right here, and it's going to come to pass, and it shall be. If you get where I told you to go, and it shall be, and it came to pass. Listen to what I'm saying. Here it is. And it came, and it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook. Thou shalt drink of the brook. Here what God is saying, thou shalt drink of the brook. Here's where it got interesting to me. Notice what he said. And I have commanded the raven to feed thee there. I have commanded. Listen, I have commanded. In other words, I have already commanded. I have already commanded. In other words, please hear me good. God did not start creation when you decided to be obedient. God didn't start putting things together when you started being, or you decided to be obedient. I need you to understand this. He says, I have already commanded. God didn't start putting things together when you decided to be obedient. Your obedience allowed you to see what was already finished in God. He says, I have already commanded the raven to sustain you. I'm not going to get you down there in this unusual place and you have to wait on me. If you're waiting on me, it's a sign that you are not in the right place. You went to Jordan and you're having to wait. I didn't tell you to go to the place of plenty. I told you to go down to the unusual place. And when you get to the unusual place, you're going to discover I have already commanded a raven to sustain you. I don't have to figure this out. I have already. Listen to me. He's sending you to an unusual place because he's about to do an unusual intervention with an unusual person. I'm going to say it again. He's sending you to an unusual place because he's about to do an unusual intervention with some unusual people. He told him that there will be a raven to sustain him. He's already commanded the raven to sustain. In other words, this raven is a scavenger. He don't sustain nobody but himself. But in this season, you're about to encounter some people that never gave nothing to nobody else, that's about to open up their bowels of compassion to you because you landed in the right place. Everybody ain't where you about to land. So the raven and you are the only ones there, and there's going to be an exchange. Listen to me. God allowed you to go to this unusual place so people could not talk you out of it and people could not scare your resources off. Please hear me. God is sending you to an unusual place because he don't want you to listen to the advice of people that don't know where you are and don't know what you're supposed to be doing. They will talk you out of it. They'll give you the statistics. They'll say how this happened and how it can happen. They will be, listen to me. Are you listening to me right now? They will actually talk you out of your blessing because they don't know how unusual you were constructed of God. They don't know how unusual your instructions have always been. And when they see, they're going to talk you out. They will talk you. Listen to me. I need you to hear me. I need to hear me because some people right now, you are in the trust position. And God says, stay right there. Because I got something for you. Stay right there because you're about to see the intervention. Stay right there. Do not waver in what I said. Do not waver in what I said. Do not waver. It does not look like it, but I know where I sent you. I have already commanded. How will I know I'm in the right place? When you see the unusual. How will I know I'm there? When you see the unusual. That's when you'll know. And you won't even get it until you go down there. I've commanded the raven, the 5th verse. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord. This next season is going to be your declaration. So I went and did according. I did according to the word of the Lord. And he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. That is before Jordan. He's in a specific place, and now he's about to get a specific intervention. Specific place, specific intervention from unusual sources. That's your next season. The 6th verse says, and the raven brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank from the brook. 7th verse, and it came to pass, here it is, you will not be able to live in the place that you mastered. That was just a period that God allowed the raven to sustain you. Why am I falling into a place of insufficiency? Because it's the time to move. It's the time for you to move on. God didn't plant you there to stay there. He says this is just a part of the process to get you into the place that I promised you. Don't you go weary in your well-doing. Don't you faint. Stay consistent to the word. Rehearse in your ears in the days when things run out. God said it, so I believe it. I trust him. Trust is evident when there is no visible evidence. When you can't see it, it's the definition of trust. Check this out. The 7th verse says, and it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up because there had been no rain. Why was there no rain? Because you prophesied out of your own mouth that there would be no rain. Remember, go back and rehearse. You already told yourself that there's going to come a time when the things are going to run out. We forget that. We forget that when I was in a high moment, I already said there was going to be a moment when there was not going to be enough in the moment. You're going to have to rehearse. You've already said this. I know you're in an extreme moment, but God is not surprising you with this moment. You don't like where you are, but you were not surprised. God had already used you to prophesy that there will be a moment that there will not be enough. It's just that you are in an extreme time. You forget what God said. Go back and recant what was said so your faith can be built in the word. If God prophesied this to you, he also mentioned there that there will be a time when you will come out of this. Stop panicking. Stop panicking in this moment. Stop panicking in the moment. Stop panicking in this moment. God's got you. The 8th verse says, and the word of the Lord came unto him saying, you're going to get a new word, because once God is done with that level, he said it's next level time. Are you ready for God's next level? It's going to cause you to have to, it's going to require trust. What is trust? Trust is defined when there is no visible evidence. The rest of your life is probably going to be a life lived where there's no visible evidence. But it does not mean that it's not as real as God has promised. I'm going to stand on what God has said. Listen to me. 9th verse says, arise, get thee down to Zarephath, which belongs to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded. In other words, every phase of your life has already been commanded. Every phase of this journey has already been commanded of God. Even though there's no visible evidence, you are going to have to trust God. Every one of these situations, please hear this, please hear the question, please hear. Everyone was an isolated position. Why? Because God needed him to be isolated, because there are some critics that don't understand, and you still have a desire to prove something to the critics. You still have a desire to prove something to the critics. You still have a desire to show your critics that you are doing well. God is not interested in you proving anything to any critic. God is not interested. Let the critics be the critics, because the critics that's what they're supposed to do. God is saying to you, trust me, and I'm going to allow you to walk in. This is your walk-in season. I was reading something this morning in Job chapter 13. Job chapter 13, verse number 14. This is an interesting passage. This is an interesting passage. Job is saying something. He said, this is Job chapter 13, verse number 15. Listen to what Job said. Job says, though he slay me, listen, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain my own ways before him. I don't care what I'm going through. I'm going to maintain what he said. Now, check this out. Job said, you might, now, the reason why, I like to put everything in context, you know that. Why did Job say this? Now, start at the verse number 1. Job had some good friends that was in his ear because he was in a situation that didn't look like it was a blessing. And they kept telling him, perhaps you were in this because this didn't happen or that didn't happen. And Job was reminding his friends. Listen to what he tells a friend. He says, okay, you were telling me that this can't be good, but you're only saying it because you don't know the process of God. You don't understand that I don't know why, but I know why. Okay. I don't want to know why, but I know why. I know why this is happening, because God is shifting me. And in this shifting period, you that have told me that you don't understand, I know that you should be going over to this next place with me. He says, so let me make it very clear. Though he slay me, because you're saying there's something wrong because I'm in this process. Though he slay me, yet will I trust it. You need to tell everybody that's calling you and telling you that there's an indictment on your life. You need to go ahead and say, though he slay me, yet will I trust. I'm going to trust what I can't trace. I don't care what you say. God promised me I'm going through. I've been humiliated in the public, but I'm going to trust him. Though he slay me, listen. Though he slay me, I'm yet going to trust him. I'm going to maintain. I'm going to maintain. How can you maintain when it seems like everything is falling in? Well, I'm going to maintain what he said. This is what he said to me. I'm going to be foolish enough that if everything fall apart, I'm going to be foolish enough to say, if he allows me to die, he's going to resurrect me in the front of the people. If he allows me to die, the third, what is it, 14th verse. Let me read the 14th verse. Here's what's important about this. 14th verse. Here it is. 14th verse says, wherefore do I take my flesh in my teeth and put my life in my own hand? Now, let me unpack. Listen to it. I'm going to read again. Wherefore do I take my flesh in my teeth and put my life in my hands? Though he slay me. I'm telling you. What is Job saying? Job says, I will not take my own life no matter what I go through. I will not take my own. I will not sabotage this blessing from the Lord. I'm in process. It's difficult, but I will not commit suicide. Now, on the other hand, if God slay me, if God decide he want to take me out, I'm still going to trust him. I'm still going to say, hey, look, I'm not going to do anything to sabotage what God said. This is an extreme season. God said, don't you do something to sabotage what he said, what he promised you. It don't look like it. Nothing suggests that this is a blessing. Everybody is telling you, you ought to make some decision now. You need to run. You need to get out. God says, you be consistent, because everybody that watch you in this season of not enough is going to watch you in the season of overflow.
Oh my God.
Everybody that saw you go through in your season of not enough is the same people that's going to see you in your season of overflow. Your season of your season of overflow here. Here's my parting advice. Here's my parting advice. I'm getting out of here. Here's my parting advice. Do not start counting. Hear me. Don't you dare start counting. Don't you dare start counting in this season. Don't you dare start counting. Don't you dare start counting. David in 2 Samuel chapter 24, 1 Chronicles 21, David began to count the people. The Bible says that he started numbering. We get in these situations, and when God has put something else ahead of us and is humongous, then we think that, listen to me, I need you to know this, 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 because this is a season that can be very confusing. How is it, please hear me, please hear me, please hear me, how is it that God in 1 Kings chapter 17 allows the prophet Elijah to prophesy that there will be no rain, and Elijah sees the prophecy? God actually manifested what he used him to say. Please hear this, because here's how confusing it is. One day God allows you to prophesy and see this manifestation of supernatural proportions. And then the next day you're trying to figure out how I'm going to eat.
Wow.
He allowed me to prophesy and manifest, and now the next day, this gets everybody. How can it? This is confusing. God is the only one that can have you prophesy and you see a supernatural exchange, and then the next day say, I won't let you live without trusting me. I won't let you, I never let you get into a place that you don't have to trust me. I never let you live where you don't have to trust. I never let you live outside the faith zone. I'm gonna require every day of you to trust me for your next situation. Now listen to this. Here's what I got to understand. This time is so confusing. I need to tell somebody this, and then I'm out of your hair, because you're in a confused time. God done showed you some evidence. He done allowed you to say some big things. He done allowed you to build a reputation, and now you sitting around trying to figure out, how in the world am I going to eat tomorrow? God is the only one. He's trying to show you that you are in good company. He's trying to show you ain't the only one. You might be in isolation, but you ain't the only one. You might be over there by yourself, but you're in good company. You're on the right place. You're on the right road. He prophesied won't be rain, and there's no rain. And now oh Lord, look, the Lord just heard. Oh, the Lord used me. And now I got to figure out how I'm going to pay my light bill. How am I going to pay my light bill? He says, just as boldly as you spoke the world, the sky shutting up, you speak boldly to your light bill. Okay. 2 Samuel. I gotta go. 2 Samuel chapter 24. Now listen, this is confusing. I need you to hear me. This is very volatile, very confusing time, because trust is defined when there's no visible evidence. And now when you in the place that you need to go somewhere and there's no visible evidence, the enemy gonna start working on your confidence. When you go to a place where there's no visible evidence, the enemy gonna start working on you. I want to pre-warn you because it's gonna happen, because it has happened to the best. I don't care how many victories you won before. I don't care how they done sung your praises. There are times when you don't have visible evidence and it messes with your confidence. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to you. You better hear me. God wants you to wade through this moment and have confidence. Listen. 2 Samuel chapter 24. Listen to what the text said. I'm in the King James Version. Listen what the confidence. Here, I gotta read it. And again, listen to this. This is important. And again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. I need you to hear this clearly. And again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, "Go number Israel and Judah." Mm-hmm. Are y'all listening to me? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, "Go number Israel and Judah." Why are you saying that, Pastor G? I need to show you something here. When you are under extreme duress because you are seeing something that looks larger than you, you will think that the Lord is speaking to you in those moments. I got to get you to see this. This is David numbering after he's won some significant victories. When there's another opportunity given that is much bigger than the opportunities that you've had before, it's going to require you to trust God in a place that you never trusted him before. And if you're not careful, you're going to take it into your own hands, and you're going to declare that it was God told you to take it into your own hands. And so the Bible says right here that David thought that it was the anger of the Lord telling him to number the people. It was just the moment that he had gotten out of faith. He started trusting in his own ability a little bit, and now he started hearing things that he think is the Lord. And so the text reads again, and again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, "Go number the people." Now, that's what the scripture says. But now, at the end of all of this, it says, "Is it not written in the Chronicles of the Kings?" And so when I go and I turn to 1 Chronicles chapter 21, it gives me a definitive answer, and it shows me that David had gotten himself in a place where there was no visible evidence. And so now he's trying to make sure, before I go out into battle and trust God, I need to know what I got to go with. Trust is defined when there's no visible evidence. Don't you start counting in this season. You're going to put yourself in a heap of trouble by counting, because it's never going to look like you're going to get victory. But God says, "I promise you victory," so that's what you stand on. Here it is, 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verse number 1. Let me read it to you. It says, "And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel." This was not a God prompt. This was David falling out of faith and saying, "I need the number and I'm going to blame God." But it's actually the enemy coming against your confidence because there was no visible evidence. Please hear me. And he said, and the text says that Satan came up. David goes to Joab and say, "Go number." Joab say, "Look, King, look. I know your word is greater than my word, but how dare you say to God, how dare you say to God that you need to count? Every time you've gone out on the battle, it never looked like you had enough to win, but did not God multiply you 1,000 times over? So why are you counting in this season of your life? Why are you going to take and sit down and pull your pen and paper out to try to discuss or try to figure out what has already been figured out? How are you going to posture yourself? How are you going to invite God to a meeting? "God, I've already got some things that I want you to look in on what I wrote down." Really? I want you to look in on what I think works best. I want you to tell me your thoughts on what I'm thinking. I want I want you to kind of sit in and let me make a presentation to you and tell you how I think this can work. Really? Really? Are you really gonna go out like that? Are you really gonna call God into this meeting to suggest to him that you can see something that he can't see?
My God.
Really? Really? You said come let us reason together. Well, no, he says come in and I'm gonna give you the reason.
Yes, God.
Come in, let me give you the reason. Let me give you the reason why. Let me give you the reason. Are you listening to me? Somebody need to hear me. Don't you dare posture yourself to suggest to God something that perhaps he overlooked. That was an oversight on your part, God. And let me remind you of what I need and how I need. Matthew chapter 6 says this. God already knows what you have need of. He says, the ravens, the birds, they have more than enough. Are you not more than they are? Are you not more than they are? Are you not more than they? Don't dare put yourself in a position where you think that you're going to advise God and tell him what is needed and how much is needed. You're counting up something. And you're putting yourself in a bad position. You're putting yourself in a bad. This next level of life, you're going to have to trust God. Trust God. Trust is defined when there is no visible evidence. You cannot say that you're trusting God if you require visible evidence. You are not in the trust zone. Let's pray together. Let's pray together. Let's pray together. Father, thank you today for this word. I will trust you when there's no visible evidence. In other words, I trust what I can't trace. Your truth needs my trust. Your word forever is established. What you said is what you said. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but your word remain. I will not count in this season. I will not count in this season. I will not count in this season. The only thing I will count on is your word. Your word said it. That settles it. That's where I will live. I will live in word land. My faith is built on nothing less than the finished work. It's already done. It's already finished. You will never drop anything in my spirit that is not already finished. It is already done. Teach me how to trust you. Teach me how to trust you. Teach me how to trust you. And I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I speak life to those that are hearing. I speak life. A life of trust. Trust is defined, Lord, when there's no visible evidence. What you've said is what you said. That's what we stand on, even when it does not look like it's going the way that you have said it. But I trust you. I give your name praise and honor and glory for it in Jesus' name. Amen. You are now free to move about the cabin. You are now free to live the life that God has promised you. Live at the level of God. Trust is defined when there is no physical evidence. If you don't have physical evidence, you are in the right place. God has sanctioned you for the place. Are you still here? Are you still here? Thank God for his word on today. For those of you, you already put it in there. For those of you that want to sow into this, I am sweating. You see me? Look at my thing.
I can take my jacket off. Got hot up in here.
Thank God for his word. I thank God for his word. You're in word land. You're in word season. Don't you dare allow the enemy to talk you out of what God has promised you. He don't have the power. All you got to do is stay consistent and stay focused. When you're consistent and focused, God can do what he said. All he needs is somebody that can focus on what he said. God is currently looking for people that'll trust him. You trust him, he's going to send you to a place. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Priscilla Jones. Thank you, Ain't Ass. Thank you, Pastor Angela. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Otis Shavers, for being in the house. Thank you, Callie Allen. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I didn't recognize people before. I'm doing it now. Thank you. Regina, Strength of God, Gray. Thank you so much. Donald Randall. Thank you, Donald. Rick Starks, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Pastor Nolan, thank you so much. Missionary Betty Ann Ortiz, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Who else is in the house? I'm trying to go. Vaughn, Pastor Vaughn, thank you so much. Ann Robin, Kevin Langston. Thank you guys so much for being in the house. Joel Pumphrey, Minister Joel, thank you for being in the house. Felicia Reed Whittington, thank you so much for being. Rhonda Hall, thank you so much. Blessings. Joyce Scott, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Raina, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for being. Barbara Washington, thank you so much. Kayla Mercedes, hey Kayla.
Kayla.
Hey, that's as far as mine will let me go. I know there's others that are in the house. Thank you so much. Krishana Oates. Thank you guys so much.
And you're healed, Krishana.
You're healed, Krishana.
Healed by the power of God.
Yes. Receive that. Receive your healing, baby. You got something else? Thank God for His word. We're thankful. I'm so thankful to God for His word. I'm trying to make sure. I like to acknowledge people because I appreciate people for coming in to Lunchtime Uplift. For those who want to give, it's NOB Seeds. NOB Seeds. Cash App NOBC. Thank you.
Missed you last
Eva, yes. Eva. I forgot Eva in the house. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Who else? I thought I saw somebody else in here. Okay. All right. Well, blessings. This is Wednesday. You deserve to be happy and go be. Happiness is a choice. And you can think yourself happy.
Come on.
You can think yourself happy. My mom they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that's not true. I'm learning every day.
Come on now, Granny.
Thank God for that. My mom is 84 years old, and she says the word is constantly teaching her. That's a beautiful thing. All right, we're out of here. Blessings, and more. Even after this, if you will, go share this with people. Our desire is for people to live the word of God and be able to live at the level of God. And that's only going to happen when their narratives change at their word. Your level of word will determine your level of living. Your quality of word determines your quality of life, period. That's how you should govern your life, by what God said about you. Pastor G.
Lady T.
We are out of here. I'll see you Friday, 12 noon. Tell somebody. Share this with somebody. And watch God bless you for it. We are out.